What's up, guys? Today's topic is going to be exactly what the title says, which is, does being romantic make you a beta? And the reason I talk about this is because a couple of days ago I engaged with someone in a conversation about music and how music tends to be very much about love and just why does it have to be about love and why can it not be about anything else? And then I said, well, for the same reason that I absolutely find the idea of talking about a song about going to space in a rocket seems very fun, right? To listen to. No, people like to listen to music that is just fun, perhaps entertaining, helps you escape reality, helps you dream. Maybe you can relate or something, just anything. But for some reason, this person insisted that music or songs about love and whatnot is just weak, and that he specifically said that there are some guys who are singing about stuff like I cannot live without you and whatever, and that makes them a beta. And I'm like, why does a guy who has feelings and emotions and is romantic have to be a beta? What is the definition of an alpha? And like, is it even possible for a human being to flesh out such a term? And what I mean by that is everyone is going to have their levels of fear, their levels of love, their levels of being romantic and whatnot. So, why do you have to associate an emotion that perhaps makes you um, seem vulnerable? Why does that have to be the equivalent of weakness? So yeah, you guys, I just wanted to ask that question, see where what you guys think, see where you're coming from, because this conversation was honestly a little annoying for me because it was trying to imply that anyone who is in love is like a beta. Like, say, if a guy decides to be soft for a woman and do things for a woman, that you're automatically weak. Like, why do you have to be weak if you actually take care of your girl? For me, I would be proud to have a guy who takes care of me like that. As opposed to making me feel neglected, alone, lonely, like just like I don't matter. So if I find someone who fits that description, does that make the guy I'm with a beta? Although for me, that beta is my hero. See where I'm coming from? Maybe I'm not being very clear with this, but it just irritates me because maybe, just maybe, that is the reason why the conversation of male toxicity or toxic masculinity comes from. Because of people like you. The person who I'm thinking about, that's what I intended that to. But anyways, that's just my opinion. I'm not a guy. I don't know what being masculine is like, and honestly, I don't care. I just want a guy who's just nice and whatever, and I believe that I have found them. So yeah, let's just see what you guys are saying. Alphas can be romantic. How do you find the right girl unless you are romantic and alpha? Yeah, like I believe that what girls are looking for is a guy who, of course, displays leadership and strength and can fix stuff around. And there's also someone who will make you feel good, someone who will tell you nice things. Like, if a guy compliments me, I find it very positive. Like, I associate guys with being strong. So to hear a strong person just giving me a compliment, it means a lot. It goes a long way. I'm not saying that a compliment from a woman doesn't have any meaning, but I'm just saying that guys tend to be a little bit on the shy end of the spectrum when it comes to that type of thing, because possibly because in the past you have probably complimented someone who did not appreciate it, but anyways, I'm just rambling now. It's that conversation really just got under my skin because I expected better from this person because I respect them, but whatever. I think unironically saying describing someone as a beta is a pretty good indication that you are at best insecure in your alphaness. I don't subscribe to the alpha beta thing at all. Honestly, this is a thing that I started hearing fairly recently, like maybe about a year ago. And then I'm like, why are there articles being written about how you know that you are being raised by an alpha female, or why you need to be going for alpha males, and then other people started making videos about you need to watch out for beta males and this and that. And I'm like, how about if people just mind their own business and you conduct your life in the way that you see fit for you? If you're an overly sensitive person, I wouldn't associate you with being a beta at all. That just means that you tend to have a reaction that is a little extra compared to the average person. Like sometimes there's some girls find the guys who are like this attractive, like the guys who are on the sensitive side. It's like, oh yeah, I can treat my guy like he's one of my girlfriends because he's emotional like that. But on the other hand, you got girls who would find a guy who is overly emotional as weak and incredibly frustrating to be with because he's not masculine, he's not strong, sensitivity tends to be associated with someone who's down and crying all the time. And I'm like, no, sensitivity to me means that you can pick up on the shit that is beneath the surface. And honestly, I think that is one of the most amazing abilities that any person can display. Because there are times when you're encountering someone and you're looking at them and they may be looking and sounding, or I should say, trying to sound and look like they're normal, but you know that inside they're struggling with something, they're breaking with something. I'm one of those people. I'm very, very, very easy to read. You know when I'm having a good day and when I'm not. And unless I'm in a professional setting, you wouldn't know unless you just know me well because I like to stay in character. But if you know me very well, if you are sensitive about the vibe that I am exuding, then you will pick up on it and you will call me out on it. And I'll have to tell you yeah, I'm having a fucked up day that I am trying to hide and suppress until I clock out and get out of here. So, but someone would probably say that that is a beta trait. And I'm like, no, why does something, a trait is only considered alpha if it's like impressive or something extraordinary? Like, no, how about the simple things in life that show your human side or some shit? To me, that's impressive. Don't mistake kindness for weakness. Exactly. Every female is different. I find that most women are much more attracted to you when you're confident and assertive. Women don't go around thinking about whether or not you're an alpha or a beta. I know I don't. Like, for me personally, the way I interpret people is by if I interact with them for more than a few minutes, I'm thinking, okay, this person is easy to talk to. This person likes to have control of the conversation. Do you ever meet a person who, for some goddamn reason, they have to have the last word? It's like you say something and they have to say something back. It's like, can you just accept conclusion to your statement? You don't have to keep adding to it. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but when that's constant, I can't help but be a little suspicious about it. But but yeah, it's people are different. Just someone out there is going to like you for how you are, whether you have beta-ness to you or alpha-ness to you. And if you really are going to buy into the alpha beta stuff, I think all of that it's in your head. Because think about it. When these people who write this music who is romantic, while I was having this conversation with this person, I told them that it's all about inspiration. Like the argument was, you see, these people are influencing other people through their music and they're being brainwashed because all they're thinking is about getting laid, having babies that they cannot afford nor raise and whatever. And I'm like, maybe, just maybe, people need to learn how to be independently responsible for their lives and for their action. Because I feel like we are expecting too much out of celebrities. I know that their status and fame gives them money. Money means power. Power means usually leadership. But you don't have to be finding advice from these people. If you listen to a song and that song gets you in the mood, you still have to be responsible. Like, don't be engaging in acts without protection that will have consequences later that will impact you in a negative way. So that's why I'm saying I want to hold people accountable. It's not the celebrity's fault for composing a song that is romantic and it gets you in the mood. You have to be responsible. It should be common sense. But if you as an adult don't have that common sense, that is your problem. You cannot be blaming the product for the effect that it has on you. You decided to consume it. Same thing with cigarettes. You don't have to consume it, but if you decide to consume it and you experience the consequences later, that is your fault because you knew about the consequences. How about if you own it? So I hope that you guys see where I'm coming from with that because to say that celebrities are guilty of the epidemic of people having kids when they're not ready for it, it's just an ignorant thing to say. But at the same time, I know that if that's all that you ever put out there and that's what sells and that's what people listen to, it can have an effect in your mind and well-being. Well, guess what? When I was a teen, I used to listen to rock music, Evanescence, gothic shit. Did that make me a suicidal person? Did that make me a depressed person? Am I dead now? No. I did not take those lyrics literally. I just appreciated the instrumental arrangement, the vocalizations, and the lyrics here and there could be fun, they could be relatable, but I did not worship them. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people these days be worshiping the wrong thing. That is your responsibility. So, but anyways, I think I made my point. Let me catch up with you guys on the comments. I'm a hopeless romantic. I legit want to make my girl happy. It makes me happy. I'm considerate of other people's feelings and do my best to do no harm while also taking no crap. Seems like a fair balance to me. Everyone's different, simple as that. You gotta accept people as they are. Is it true some girls like to be treated badly by their man? You know what? I have heard about that. And I personally, if you're trying to pick me up, you need to treat me nicely. And if you're someone who gets in trouble all the time, say with the law or in school or whatever, I have no interest in you whatsoever because I am trying to avoid complications in my life. But I have asked other girls who clearly kept going after bad guys, and the thing that they were saying is that they tend to be attractive in the sense that they are adventurous and they take dares and they can also be quite entertaining. And I'm like, I know very good guys who are entertaining as hell and they really make me have a good time and make me laugh and they never cause trouble. So, how can you expect for a guy to treat you nicely and stick to you if you know from the get go that he is a bad guy? So it seems kind of contradictory. And what I mean by that is that these are going to be the same girls who are going to complain about their boys cheating on them and lying to them and saying that they're in one place and they're in another place and claiming to have many girlfriends and all that. And I'm like, you know that this guy is no good. He doesn't have a good record. Why are you going out with him? I want to feel sympathetic for you, but I cannot because the guy is giving indication that he is trouble, but you're still pursuing it. I think that's your fault, and you need to own that. If you want to have a better quality relationship, you're going to go after someone who has a better record. See what I mean? Or someone who displays that they are trustworthy. But if you are trying to get with this guy to change him into being suitable for you, you cannot change anybody. Only other people can change themselves. So that's why I'm saying I want people to be accountable and responsible. If you choose a piece of shit person to be your partner, you're going to have a shitty relationship. Like, why do you have to even say that? It should be obvious. So when you start whining and complaining about a guy who's no good, I cannot feel sorry for you. I cannot feel bad for you because you chose that. So to go back to that question, I can see why the troublemaking guys and the guys who treat you poorly can be exciting. But at the same time, because I have been in relationships that I consider more healthy than not, I have had great times in healthy relationships. So I don't need to be going after a guy who's causing trouble. We can create that sense of adventure and break the boredom as a couple. That's what you do. You communicate, you try things, you make plans. But if you just want for a person to be naturally daring, then that's on you. But if shit hits the fan, do not come crying to me or to anyone else talking about how you're having a bad time with your current partner. because of the way they are, which you went into knowing, and that means that you had to accept this person being that way. So no, I cannot feel bad for you for being in a shitty situation. So I hope I did not go too off track there, but yeah, it's weird. I would never go with someone, like go out with someone who's going to bring problems to my life. I'm trying to be peaceful. So, anyways, I was raised to treat a girl as if she was a lady. Please continue to do that. That's what's normal. Yes, but that stems from childhood issues such as physical or mental abuse from an early age, a missing father figure, or just being neglected. And see, that's perfectly understandable because that girl learns to associate guys as the figure that has an authority over you. And I guess that's what the feminist movement is about these days, about the patriarchy and oppression and all that. Like, now we gotta take control and this and that. And I'm like, no, I think that if you go through a childhood in which you're physically and mentally abused, you need to get the help that is appropriate for you. But at the same time, get that help so that you don't end up thinking the wrong stuff. Because I was brought up without a father figure. I was neglected by him. And fortunately, I was never abused by him physically nor mentally, because I feel like my mom would have done away with him. But it did affect me emotionally in many, many, many ways. But what I did was I began talking to people. I said, look, I have a problem. I got daddy issues and I cannot let go of it. It makes me mad. It makes me cry myself to sleep at night. What the fuck can I do? And then people said, just remember that you have an amazing mother, and your mother is there and you can talk to her, and she is actually trying to get you to have a strong positive relationship with your father, but your father apparently is not interested. You cannot force him to be interested in you, and at the same time remember that it's not your fault. Once multiple sources told me it is not my fault, my life became better. Like, I feel like my problems with my past and my dad, I was able to let go in that instant. Because when you grow up in a situation where you're emotionally and physically abused, you think that it is your fault. You need to be told by an external source that it is not your fault. Because although you know deep within that it's not your fault, you are convinced by some invisible force that it is your fault. So I would urge everyone to just, if you know someone in this situation, tell them that it's not their fucking fault. You may save a life. That's what helped me. Because had no one told me that, I feel like I would still be struggling with that shit. And I probably would not be the person who you guys know today. Because I was hanging on to that stuff from the past so, like, dearly. Like, nah, I cannot believe in a guy, and much less my father. But I was able to let go, and I started becoming acquainted with people in a more healthy way. I'm still shy. I still keep a distance. I still don't like to be like touched. Even if you're someone who I know, you cannot just come into contact with me unless you do like a little ritual, like does the situation call for it? But other people like to bump into you, or like just, I don't know, whatever it is that people do to like greet each other. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not cool with that. But when I get close to you and we interact with each other daily, I open up. But it's really something that I don't know what I owe that to. It's just the way I am. Don't touch me. But eventually you will know when the time is right. But some people need to be told that. You don't know that someone doesn't like to be touched unless you tell them. So that's what I'm saying with this type of stuff. You don't know that someone is suffering until you talk to them. You cannot just study the surface. And to just declare someone like this a beta person, see, that can be pretty damaging. And not only that, but when you grow up with a very difficult childhood, then you already have confidence problems to begin with. So how about if we reinforce it more positively? And god damn it, I froze already. But anyways, what matters is that the timer is still ticking. Let's see. What else? I don't feel the need to show off or impress people, and if it was within my power, I would do anything for someone I love. If that makes me a beta in your eyes, then so be it. They are still responsible for their lives. I'll admit alpha women make me uncomfortable. Would it make you uncomfortable because of the aspect of them having control of situations, or well, I guess you know what I should have done? I should have just had the definition of alpha and beta next to each other because I know what they mean, but it's all majorly paraphrased. There we go. I knew that if I did this, it might help. But yeah. Yeah, no guy wants a woman who feels intimidating. And I guess that the feminist movement would say that a girl who is strong and has leadership shouldn't be associated as someone who's like bossy or something. It's a perfectly fine character trait to have. And I can see why guys might be uncomfortable by that, but for me personally, if my guy feels like I'm overpowering him, I would immediately urge him to remember that I'm not competing against him. I do not compete against anybody. So if you have a fear that you think that I'm just better than you, and thus you feel inferior, you shouldn't have to feel that way at all. I don't feel inferior to you, although if we talk in literal terms, you're probably bigger than me, you're going to be stronger than me, you can lift more than me, you can run farther than me. Those physical things. And at the same time, when it comes to resilience in some things, you will be a superior creature. There's no denying that. But are you giving me hell over me being smaller, weaker, getting tired sooner? No. Why am I going to give you problems with your emotions? Like, say, if you're a guy and you uh, may have a leadership that could use some reinforcing, you don't give me issues about my issues. What am I going to give you issues over your issues? How about if we come together, work as a team, and conquer our challenges? That's what I believe in. But but if someone clearly tries to make it about being controlling of you, then you're in a toxic relationship and you need to get out of that stuff. Like the right partner, I would expect would support me, cheer on me, be on my side, just like I would do for him. Like, I'll support you, be on your side, be your cheerleader, be your number one fan, etc. I'm not going to try to bring you down. If I'm bringing you down, I should not be allowed into your life. A partner should be either an extension of you or a reinforcing force for you. I don't know, something positive. But if that's not what you're getting, you need to just let go. Like, seriously, don't fall for that trap. I have done that bullshit before, and I was miserable. But, anyways, guys, that's pretty much all that I have to say on that matter that I can think of. This conversation that I had that inspired this stream, I was like, all I could do was just kind of sigh internally because this person clearly isn't attached to anybody, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that. But what I consider wrong is for you to judge people on a basis that you do not understand yourself because it's not something that you practice. So if you're not a romantic person, how about if you don't ruin it for everybody else who does enjoy being flirted with, being affectionate, being romantic, and all that stuff? If you are perfectly happy being a person who's not romantic, then act like it and don't give shit to people who like romantic songs. And that's what they sell. If people like songs about getting laid every night, then that's what people like. That's what they'll consume. Why are you treating that stuff, intimacy, why are you treating it in such a tabooish way? Why are you treating it so negative? Like, I would expect that being intimate is something that is extremely amazing, something to be proud of. But the way that you are expressing yourself, you're making it seem like it's a big shame or something, you know? So, so whatever, man. I just stopped listening and I said, thanks for giving me a stream topic, but damn, chill out, chill out. Let's see, where am I at? I will say that there is a fine line between being good partner and being a pushover. Also, I feel like the beta thing is way too dependent on the situation to put stock in for me. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and alpha in one situation can be a total beta in another. Exactly. It's about that balance in life. Like, I know that I am good at some things, but the stuff that can be considered very, what can I say, very petty, some of that stuff may stress me out. Some of that stuff may terrify me. You know, I may be scared of things that for other people, the normal person, regular, normal, average person, isn't afraid of. And that's okay. I'm different. In the same manner that you are going to be someone who's going to definitely fail at an area in life that I completely dominate. Am I going to give you problems over it? No. I am going to lead you through the way, just like I expect for you to lead me during my times of hardships. See what I mean? Just be a leader in someone's life. Don't be discouraging something unless it's a clear and present danger. And I guess that mindlessly having kids would be a dangerous thing to do. But have you ever heard of instances when people were about to hit rock bottom and that's when they just lift themselves up? Be inspiring as opposed to someone who's salty. Honestly, you sound like you're salty. But, anyways, agreed with Ollie. You cannot be a chief all the time. Sometimes you gotta be an Indian too. As for relationships, they shouldn't be a power struggle anyway. It's a collaborative effort. There's nothing wrong with dating a woman who's independent. The problem arises when she throws it in your face whenever you're having an argument, saying that she doesn't need you. Yeah, exactly. Like, listen, you should be okay alone. You should be independent and whatever. But what can I say? There's going to be at some point that power situation is going to be brought up, and that's when it turns into a competition. I'm like, no, before you get in a relationship, make sure that you are good independently, and also make sure that your partner is good independently. If you have not been independent and succeeded or being well, getting together with someone is going to be problems because someone is obviously going to be the one leading and that other person is going to feel inferior, and then that leader is going to feel compelled to like throw it in their face, shove it in their face, and that's when the problem comes. Because then the other person is like, oh, you don't have to be such a bitch about it, and the other person goes, you don't have to be such a dick about it, etc., etc. That childish childhood child behavior, you know? So, honestly, if you're feeling like you have to constantly prove yourself to your partner, then just let them go. There's someone out there who's going to appreciate you so much better. And that's hilarious. I had a troll in the comments and I completely ignored him somehow. I didn't even see it. But, anyways, I think they're gone. Yes. I don't know if that does any good, but I just want to get rid of it. Okay. I feel like there was a comment that had another part that I wanted to respond to. What was it? Push over. Oh yeah, I did talk about that. Okay. Well, guys, I am going to bail on you now. Thanks so much for joining me. This was a very interesting topic. You guys know that relationship topics are among my favorite ones, and I guess this is sort of a relationship topic because it deals on the romantic spectrum. Let me see. Some women thrive on conflict. I dated a girl who would intentionally flirt with other guys when we were at parties just to cause a scene and have guys fighting over her. Yeah, I would have totally let go of that person right there and then. Because why would you try to create drama? Like, if you believe in your partner so much, you don't need to be making someone jealous. What I like to ask my partners is, what do you consider something that is a jealousy trigger? And I don't ask that to find out ways to make you jealous so that I can feel important. You already make me feel important. I ask that because there is some stuff that I do that you may possibly misinterpret, and I do not want to have fights over that. But if you are someone who has self esteem issues and you have confidence issues, I'm not interested in you because I am going to continue living my life. And if you're constantly this ball of jealousy and overprotective, I cannot be with you because you are becoming toxic. You're not letting me breathe. I'm not all over you. Like, yes, I miss you when we're not together. And when I see someone else talking to you, I wish it was me you were talking to because I admire you and love you so much. But I gotta give you your space and you have to give me my space. If you do not understand that, you do not belong in a relationship. A relationship should allow you to still remain independent to some extent and also to have your own level of absolute privacy and absolute intimacy. I'm not the kind of girlfriend who's constantly asking you, what were you talking about? What did she tell you? Or, you know, where were you at or something. I don't care. As long as you come back home to me and you're fine and you don't bring me problems, I don't care. And just because I don't care about your personal details doesn't mean I don't care about you. It just means that I wait for you to supply the information that you want me to know. I don't want to be possessive of you. I wouldn't like for you to be possessive of me. So just tell me whatever it is that you want me to know. It's cool. I'm not very chatty myself, but I will feel like I want to tell you everything, but I will not be telling you everything. You have to sort of get it out of me because I will associate some things with you possibly don't want to know about this, and that's okay. It's okay to not like something that your partner does. So, but anyways, relationship should be a two-way street, period. You would be an ideal partner. Thanks for the streams, Emery. Very interesting. Yeah, I feel like I have a few other interesting topics coming up. I had to be away for the past 3 days or so because dang, I had the worst schedule ever. But but I should be back. Don't be surprised if I come back in a couple of hours or so because there is a lot that I just want to go over. But anyways, guys, I will really call this my stopping place now. Thanks so much for tuning in. It was so good to see all of you. And yeah, any of you who catch the stream later, let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, guys, see you soon.